are U.S.-Nigeria relations right now?
So that happened back in October, and the initial reaction from the Nigerian government was pretty hostile. But over time, I think, as there was more attention paid to it, it just became so undeniable. And the point of these designations is not just to say, you're a bad country, we don't want to work with you. The point is to help the people who are being killed, to help the people who are being kidnapped, and to make sure that religious freedom is protected for everybody. And that's a real value. It's an American value. It's an international value. And it's a value for a lot of Nigerians. And
okay, let me surprise you. What you are hearing before I will allow you to listen to the full clip and interview. This message is coming from White House. For those of us now who may begin to ask now, how many times you bring this kind of video that Trump has spoken, they have chosen that, they are choosing that. My brother, listen to me. All these years, there have been arrangements in place for the declaration of Biafra. You understand me? You can't just expect them to just wororum, they will give you Biafra. No, there must be a document in place to sign. And those documents will not take you a day or 2 days, 1 day or 2 days, 1 month or 2 months, or probably 1 year. No. It is diplomatic signing. It takes years. I mean, when it comes to Africa. Because if this happens to be their own side now, they will have been hastening the whole situation. But when it comes to Africa, they will keep on rigmaroling, looking for a way that is going to favor them most than the war people they want to save. You don't expect them to just give you Biafra. They give you Biafra based on their own personal interest. What they stand to gain, not for what you stand to gain. You want to gain freedom, right? Them, they want to gain your mineral resources. So do not get tired whenever you see this kind of news. Now you come to comment. How many times will they speak? My brother, they will keep on speaking. This one now is from a different version. I mean, a different office. Oval office. I mean, White House as a whole, just like Asorok. You have a legislative office. You have a senator office. You have all this. You know, no matter. Everybody has their office in White House. So this one now from different department. And what is this one is saying now is that U.S. and also Trump have released a date. That is what you are about to listen now, in case you don't know. They have released a date, and the division of Nigeria have been concluded. And he says again that time has come for Biafra to go. So the voice you are hearing is from a different department, but all from White House. And all of them are speaking, or rather, they are spoken on behalf of the Oga, the boss, Oga Patapata in the house, which is Oga Mazi Chinedu Donald J. Trump. So please, don't get tired of hearing, because all these things, they are signing documents, they are making preparations, they are organizing things. They will not just come and give you Biafra. Their interest must be protected before they will allow you to go. If you don't know it, just know it now. If you think they will just give you Biafra on a platter of gold, free of charge, my brother, you better think twice. Their interest first. It is in their in their motto, America first, before any other thing. So make sure they're coming down. So this is a very good news and great one at that. So let us continue listening to this message, and I would like you to do me a favor, please share. If you don't need it or you don't understand the message well, carry this voice, put up for AI, ChatGPT or Grok. They will give you explanation of the whole thing that they said here, so that you can at least verify me for once. Not when they tell you to go and verify, you will come back and begin to still complain. Make sure to make this job so that it go there easy for us where they bring this news for now. I beg, share, like, comment, and subscribe. Well, let us listen to this our Oga on top, waiting he talk concerning the situation of Nigeria and the Biafra at this present time. Enjoy the rest of the news. Also, thanks for watching. I'll be right back.
So this has moved into a more cooperative stage. I think that's a very positive thing. There have been some recent recommendations given to the President and Congress. Comes from Riley Moore, comes from Chris Smith, the House Foreign Affairs Committee, different committees. They've really put a lot of effort into this with great recommendations. I rarely have seen such incredible effort from an administration as I've seen right now with Nigeria. And there has been good responses, I think, from some portions of the Nigerian government. There have been some personnel changes and things, interest in improving security, interest in helping the IDPs. Father Remy and you both mentioned the issue of Sharia criminal law, blasphemy laws, mob violence. That can lead to the death penalty there. It's a really terrible thing. There's a number of different issues, but those recommendations, if they're followed through, could in the next few years really make a huge difference, but they have to be followed through.
Are they paying you to do this? Because I'm I'm separating it from the issue of Biafra.
That is the voice of Mike Arnold. He have an interview, one-on-one interview with one of the anchors of Voice of the People Radio, by name Precious Enyi. So you don't get it twisted. All of them are speaking towards one direction. US and Trump have released the date for Biafra to go. So please enjoy the rest of this news. Any other person they bring to the board, when they are about to speak, or when they start speaking, you don't understand them, you don't understand the person that is anchoring or the person that is responding, I will also make it available for you. So please don't get tired of listening.
And separation. That's not my interest in talking about this whatsoever. But it is an indictment of the tyrannical lawlessness of this administration. Here's the facts. First of all, even Nigerian courts have said the branding of IPOB as a terrorist group is bogus. It was never in due process. It was just a proclamation. And there's no evidence to support the United States doesn't accept that. I don't believe any country outside of the cadre in Abuja actually believe that it's a terrorist group. They did that.
No other country has prescribed that behavior.
No. And so, first of all, it's clearly an effort to silence them. Second, Nnamdi Kanu carries a British passport as well. He's a British citizen as well as a Nigerian citizen. He was broadcasting from London. Never once, and it was challenged in court over and over again, there was never once any act of violence that was traced to any word that he spoke. Not once. There's not one act of violence that they say came about as what he said. He spoke on foreign soil. And then he went to Kenya. Does not have an extradition treaty with Nigeria. He was abducted, tortured, and illegally rendered to Nigeria. The Kenyan government said it was illegal, and they protested. The international community has protested. So, A, they come up with a bogus label of terrorist that nobody agrees with. They grab him for saying words on foreign soil that were not traced to any violence. And then they illegally render him back. They put him on trial under a law that had been repealed. His attorney kept saying, Your Honor, what is the law? Show me the law. What are you being prosecuted for? It does not exist. There is no law under which he was prosecuted. The Arab law, there was no continuation clause. There was zero legal basis for his prosecution. And then he was found guilty of what? Violating what? Simply offending the government.
No, they said most of the things he said ignited violence and led to the death of security agencies and individuals. And
that is called tyranny. When you can grab somebody out of another land and you can condemn them for words they said that you don't agree with, even though they're not against the law. And you can sentence that person to life in prison and transfer them to Sokoto, 700 miles from the people that were feeding them, taking care of them, 700 miles from the appeals court. Sokoto is throwing them in a dungeon. They grabbed the guy because they didn't like his words, with no law, with no legal basis. They illegally grabbed him, a foreign citizen on foreign soil, and they throw him in a dungeon in Sokoto. That's tyranny. I don't care what tribe he's in. I don't care what he was advocating. That's tyranny. That's evil, and it's an indictment of this government. The fact that he's still in prison illegally is tyranny. That is tyranny. There is no legal justification for it. They never made the case. They never showed what law they were prosecuting. The government didn't like him, and they threw him in a dungeon, just like they did with the Israeli filmmaker.
Why do you think the government may not have liked him? Because many would say, some people who believe in him call him the prophet of their time, because most of the things he warned about the massacre of the people of Nigeria are today, the reality of most of these indigenous Nigerians. But so many would say that, is there anything he actually did speak about that hasn't come, true? So what exactly is his crime? But why do you think the Nigerian government did not like him enough to ensure that he was truly persecuted?
Well, I'll talk about it in terms of physics. There's no such thing as darkness. It doesn't exist. It's the absence of light. They're operating in darkness. They're evil people operating in darkness, and he was shining the light. He was speaking the truth that they said he was just teaching history. He was just pointing out the obvious about the Constitution, about the founding of Nigeria, about the whole British machinery that they put in motion. That's what he was doing. And that's a threat to the powers that be, because it's the truth. And they can't stand the truth. They can't live in the light.
The federal government brought Nnamdi Kanu to Nigeria for a case of terrorism.
You are hearing the voice of Mr. or rather Barrister Darlington of Voice of the People's Radio, VOP, anchoring with either Precious Eni or the other lady. So that is the voice you are hearing now. So please continue listening. All are still pointing the same direction. Biafra freedom, Biafra freedom.
That is the issue at stake. The onus is on Nnamdi Kanu to now question his extraordinary rendition. These are two different things. Nnamdi Kanu ought to sue the federal government, but as of today, Nnamdi Kanu is not suing anybody. Rather, the federal government is suing Nnamdi Kanu for what he did or what he was alleged to have been done. The two of them are different. If it's after this case has been defended upon, then Nnamdi Kanu can now question why they had to kidnap him from Kenya.
But we don't have to like mention after that.
No, it's not. That is, but you can't mix up the two cases now. You are not challenging why you were brought from Kenya. You are not.
He did challenge it. That was you don't have to give it to him.
So listen, the first thing that the federal government did was to bring him for trial over what? Terrorism. That is the issue at stake now. Now the country can no longer come and say, because you brought me extraordinarily, therefore you have
on one ground, the appeal court said that the High Court and the issue doesn't have the standard to tell him. On what ground was that judgment given?
look at the judges that carried out the decision in their appeal court. Where are they now? Do you know that they say
on what ground did the appeal court give that judgment? Did the court grant Nnamdi a prayer that he didn't ask for?
no, Nnamdi Kanu was mixing it up initially. When they brought those charges, remember the charges that were forced in the appeal court, 15 count charges. It's those things that the DSS brought against him. And it was forced. Even when they got to the Supreme Court now told Nnamdi Kanu, shoot the federal government, enter a civil suit against the federal government. But what they did to you, that was where they now brought out these charges against Nnamdi Kanu. So that is what we are talking about now. But so far, Nnamdi Kanu, are you here? You have
not answered the question.
I have answered you, but you don't
I'm
understand.
asking you, for what ground did the appeal court say that, look, the High Court, because this man was brought in illegally, you don't have the local standard to try him. And I'm asking you, did the appeal court grant a prayer that Nnamdi didn't seek? Or did he not walk into court and thought, say, look, High Court shouldn't have tried him because he brought him back illegally?
The charges at the appeal court was not forced. It was forced. It was forced. Is that not true? All the charges against Nnamdi Kanu was forced at the appeal court.
And yet the appeal court also said, the High Court doesn't have right to try him.
At that point, they ought to have left him. But the federal government brought the charges again. When the matter went to appeal, remember, he ought to have been let off the roof. But the federal government, in their own wisdom, brought another charge on Nnamdi Kanu.
Okay.
And that is where we are now.
Okay, not on the previous charge.
I mean, you can't see it. It has been washed already.
The issue in Kenya court is how did Nnamdi Kanu revision from Kenya to Nigeria?
Yeah.
The Kenyan government is not charging Nnamdi Kanu for any offence. That was why he won it there. Can't you see it? That was why the Kenyan court had to rule in favor of Nnamdi Kanu. The Kenyan government don't have any issue with Nnamdi Kanu. That's the difference. But here in Nigeria, the federal government is saying that Nnamdi Kanu committed a treasonable felony. And that is what is at stake now. So it is not left of Nnamdi Kanu or his legal team to say, look, when the case come up, why do you revision is a different issue entirely. That is why you won the case.
We are there, we are here. In fact, I had a lady from Maiduguri say.
You are hearing the voice of the supreme leader of terrorists and bandits in the Federal Republic of Nigeria by name Sheikh Ahmed Gumi. That is the voice you are hearing. Enjoy the rest of the news.
It's over the news. That we prefer Boko Haram to what the army was doing in Maiduguri. We were killing innocent people. It was very merciless, killing innocent people. That's why the northern states was all united that this man must go. Because you see, you need to follow these things systematically, slowly, gently, so just like treating a brain cancer. If you go in there with roughness, you will kill the patient. But you have to be very delicate, right?
So you would like to see them wiped out?
Yes, yes. So we want to see them wiped out. But we see, not by killing innocent people.
No. But when you say innocent people, what exactly are you referring to? Are you referring to the people that stand behind themselves who again have been...
No, you see, they have to... Look, let me tell you, this Boko Haram, usually they're Kanuri people. So if you go into Maiduguri, you have to differentiate between normal Kanuri and normal Boko Haram.
As long as this thing has become a weapon in the north, it will not end. Did you hear me? As long as the north still believe in Al-Majiri, it can never end. They know what they are doing. They cannot deceive us again. In the first place, who told you not to educate your people? Was it me? Nigeria had independence in 1960. All of us were here. You decided to choose whatever you want to choose. And now you want to blame us for your problem. Do you not have the capacity to give your people free education like Awolowo? The Igbos never had any free education. So, why are you not telling us that if you let them uneducated? I don't get it. You don't feel that you have this entitlement mentality. Is it our fault that this is happening in your area? You people should go home and think. Yes, you created this problem. Don't run away from it.
We have Ahmed Abubakar Gumi, an Islamic cleric, scholar, former military officer with the rank of captain in the Nigerian army. He's the current Mufti Mufassir at the Kaduna Central Mosque. Good to have you with us. Now let me start off with you. Now, this country of particular concern, President Trump, President Trump did say a few things, that if Nigeria doesn't address this issue, he's going to come in guns blazing and wipe out.
Okay, this is a compilation of different videos. We cannot listen to this because we have already listened to this message. In fact, I have published it on this my platform here. So we are going to call it a quit here. But the main message has been passed. The US and Mazi Chinedu Nigeria Trump have released a date for the division of the zoo. And in conclusion, they say, time has come for the Biafra to get their independence. So this is a piece of information. Please do with it whatever you may choose to. But I saw it, I got it, I listened to it, and what I'm doing now is what I wish I will do with it by circulating it to others, so that the message will not remain with one person. It's supposed to go viral, at least for humanity's sake and for record purposes. Have a nice day, my wonderful people. We are coming back again. Catching you.